It is Wednesday, September 24th, and the Yankees were taking on the White Sox in Game 2 of a 3-game set, and they were trying to inch up on Toronto for the top spot in the American League East. Max Fried was on the mound, and he was going for win number 19. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Tonight was one of those nights where I'm sure a lot of you did what I did, and that is I had multiple games on. Major playoff implications tonight, major division implications tonight. But first, we got to talk about Mr. Aaron Judge, and I want to give a shout-out to friend of the show, Brian Hoke, because a lot of times he tweets the important moments. When something happens, he'll tweet it out almost instantaneously. And because I have his alerts turned on, my wrist will vibrate on my watch, and I'll see Brian Hoke, and I know something's about to happen. He's about 2 or 3 seconds ahead of my TV broadcast. So in a big moment, it's not uncommon to get a little spoiler alert from Brian Hoke. It's kind of like Pavlov's dog, right? Hears the bell, starts drooling because it thinks food is coming. Well, when I get the Brian Hoke, tweet on my wrist, it's like my own version of Pavlov's, dog. I just snap my head back to the TV. But, tonight I was, watching both games at the same time. I had the Yankees on. I had the Red Sox versus the Jays on. Judge was at the plate. It was in between pitches. And I turned my head for a second to watch the Jays, and my wrist vibrates. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I snap my head back, and I see Judge go deep, home run number 50. And yes, the Red Sox defeated the Blue Jays for the second straight night, crushed them, and the Yankees have now pulled even in terms of record. You can't say they're in first place because the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker, but the Yankees have pulled even in the standings now with the Toronto Blue Jays, and best record statistically in the American League. Now, basically, it's up to the Yankees to just keep winning. Just win the rest of your games and hope the Blue Jays lose one. That's all you got to do. I know it sounds easier said than done, but 4 games left. You win all 4. You're 94-68. You'll sign up for that. And the pressure has got to be building now on the Jays. It has got to be building. They have been in first place, or at least tied with the Yankees since July 2nd, puffing out their chests, talking all sorts of smack here in the comments, with that we're the team to beat, we're your daddy, all that stuff. And now, look at them. They are in free fall. They are playing poorly at the worst time. They're playing a team that needs to beat them. In their own, playoff hunt, they have a lot to lose. And that team's got a great manager and a lot of momentum. I guarantee the Blue Jays are not comfortable. Bo Bichette is out. Bassett's hurt. Scherzer got rocked again. And they finish off against the Rays, who don't roll over for anybody. They don't roll over for anybody. So if the Yankees can just treat the next 4 games like must-win playoff type of games, even though you're not playing playoff caliber teams, you're playing the dregs, or however you say it, of the American League. Instead of the midsummer collapse, we might be talking about one of the best comebacks the Yankees have ever had. Something we'll remember for decades. That's what we're looking at potentially here over the next 4 days. So get hyped. There is this line in Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming, right? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, Yanks. Your arms may tire. You may be tempted to let yourself sink. But if you win the next 4 games against the dregs of the American League, you're probably American League Eastern champions, and you're probably getting a first-round bye and home field advantage and some much-needed rest. Hell of a job getting this far. All right, let's talk about the game.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
key takeaways. So the first inning, I thought it was going to be one of those nights. It was kind of painful. Yankees loaded the bases with nobody out, 3 straight walks, and then it was, I believe, 3-0 on Giancarlo Stanton, but Stanton popped out, and then Rice struck out, and then they replaced the pitcher, and Goldschmidt struck out. So bases loaded, nobody out, they didn't score, and I'm thinking, oh God, here we go again. They played some sloppy baseball early on. Ryan McMahon charged with an error initially, and then they switched it to Jazz Chisholm. We saw Judge make a throw from the outfield 85 miles an hour back in towards the infield. And for a minute, I thought that might be what we remember about his night. But then he went deep for a 2-run shot? No, a 3-run shot in his first home run. And then later on, he tacked on his second home run of the night, a solo shot. 2 home runs in the evening for Aaron Judge, 50 and 51 in the same game for the second year in a row. Unbelievable. And I don't want to hear about Judge fatigue when it comes to MVP voting. That's BS to me. The player who earns it should get it. Bonds won 7 MVPs. Clemens won 7 Cy Youngs. You can give Judge another MVP, especially when he got one stolen from him in 2017. And a couple of nights ago, we were wondering how many homers he would have if he didn't miss all that time due to injury. I saw this post on Reddit from the user GladDimension4130. I guess someone actually did the math. He said, after watching him hit number 50, I decided to look up his stats and saw something that kind of shocked me. His average season is .293 average, .412 on base percentage, .613 slugging, 114 games, 82 RBIs, 36 homers. So 36 home runs in 114 games is 1 in every 3.13 games. Now, if you consider the time he lost due to injury, notably 2018, 2019, and then 2023, and not even including COVID, you project for 150 games over those years instead of the time he missed, and he'd have an additional 130 games played and 42 home runs and be around 425 RBIs. And, I mean, that's insane. 425 home runs in 10 seasons. And 925 RBIs. Having come up late after being a college student and, basically dragging his way through the minor leagues. And this wasn't a guy who got put in the minor leagues when he was 18 years old. He didn't make his debut till he was 24. And he should have, if he had stayed healthy, 425 homers. That's nuts. Anyway, Yankees tacked on a couple of more. You had Rice with a triple. He's got 4 triples now. You had a double from Jazz. You had a ribby knock from Goldschmidt. Fried was unbelievable tonight. He threw 107 pitches. We'll talk more about him in just a minute. And then eighth inning, Trent Grisham with the all expenses paid, complimentary beverage cart service included, round trip, first class, mustache ride, 34 home runs. Bullpen nailed it down, and baby, that is 90 wins for the Yanks. Apparently, Cal Raleigh just hit number 59. This is breaking news from Frankie Baseball here. I think he might get to 60. I don't know if he's going to get to 62 or 63. I really don't want him to break Judge's home run record. But he's a 250 hitter this year. Judge is going to win the batting title. And, for all the historic stuff about, Raleigh setting the record for a switch hitter and, maybe hitting 60 home runs, Judge might do something historic too, pointed out by Michael Kay. How many players have hit 50 home runs and won the batting title? Mickey Mantle and Jimmy Fox. And Judge would be the third. And Judge right now hitting, I believe, 328. 328 with a 1.136 OPS. And he is your belt winner. And How many RBIs does he have now? 109 ribbies. He's got 12 stolen bases, 455 on-base percentage. Unbelievable. Another amazing year. I think it's worth just kind of taking a look at his career and just the numbers. I mean, 52 home runs as a rookie with 114 RBIs. You know, and this is a guy who, he had such an awful strikeout rate as a rookie. 2016, 42 strikeouts in 84 at-bats after his cup of coffee. He hit 4 home runs. Remember, he hit that big home run in his first at-bat, but only at 179. And I remember before the 2017 season watching Michael Kay, and he said, you know, if this guy hits 250, 240, he's going to run into 40 home runs. And I remember thinking, wow, imagine a rookie hitting 40 home runs. Well, he hit he hit 52. And then, of course, he had the injury in 2018, only hit 27. 2019, another injury, I believe that was the oblique year, and he hit 27. Then 2020 was the COVID year, only had 9. And then 2021, this one surprises me because he hit 39 home runs in 148 games. That was an odd year. Usually if he has that many games, you see he hits a gazillion home runs. 157 games in his free agent season of 2022, 62 home runs, 311 average. That was the first time in his career that he hit 300. The next year, dealt with some injury problems, 267, 37 home runs. He was on pace to have another 60 home run year, ran into the wall in L.A., messed up his toe. He did have a couple of 3 home run games that season, though. I was at the second one. And then last year, bounces back, 322, 58 home runs, 144 RBIs, but collapsed in the playoffs. Now, that's going to be something that he needs to solve this year. So far, 328, 51 home runs, 109 RBIs. I want him to get to at least 53. I want him to beat his rookie year. I want him to top that for whatever reason. I don't know. Just aesthetically pleasing. All right, we got a couple of chats here. Vianney says, remember, y'all, even if they overtake the Jays, they can't go back to a tie. Just keep winning. No opinion. Yeah, 100%. You got it. I mean, there's 4 games left. Just win them all. Just go out and win them all, and you control your own destiny. I guess you don't really control your own. There's no if you control your own destiny, but win the next 4 gives you a great chance. McKelly says, we are more confident this year without Juan Soto. And the Mets, in the midst of a tough collapse, they are barely hanging on to a wild card spot. They're down 8-2 tonight. And Soto 0 for 3 on the night. And then Richard C., friend of the channel, says, thoughts on Devin Williams 2026? Come on.
Don't smoke crack.
He says, Edwin Diaz was terrible his first year, and we have a history of closers finding their stuff after leaving. Yeah, maybe you're right. But, I'm still going to say no. Let's talk a little bit about Max Fried, who had a good night. You know, tonight was, almost a routine outing for him. The White Sox were no match for him, and he dominated, as he's expected to do. But, 7 innings of 1-run ball was just the tip of the iceberg for this year for him. When Max Fried signed with the Yankees in December, it was 8 years, $218 million. It was the biggest contract ever for a left-handed pitcher. I believe it beat David Price. A lot of people were not super excited. They're maybe a little bit dejected even because we had just lost Juan Soto, and this was clearly a pivot move. So, it was plan B right away. But I want you to think about it this way. If the Yankees re-sign Soto, they probably don't get Max Fried. They're not going to spend, $900 million on 2 players. Not going to happen. Which means that when Garrett Cole went down, the Yankees would have been 1 more pitcher short. And I don't think they would be in the position they're in right now had Max Fried not had the season that he had. Right? Cole goes down with Tommy John. Fried goes from being number 2 to being the ace. And man, he has stepped up as much as I can remember any player ever stepping up with the Yankees, with the possible exception of Aaron Small, a castaway pitcher that the Yankees got for $150, and he went 10-0 one year. Fried has been worth every penny and more. And the one thing that concerned me was his health. I had one of the guys from Hammer Territory on, which is the Braves version of Pinstripe Territory. And the guy that I had on, Sean, he basically said that Fried's health was a concern and that he'd be surprised if he made 30 starts. Well, he made 32 starts now. And he turned in a career year. 19 wins, 2.86 ERA, phenomenal performance by Max Fried. Career year. Let's take a few voicemails.
It's just a reaction.
Nice.
Hi, Derek. This is Rick from New Jersey. Just wanted to inform you and all Yankee fans that the oldest living Yankee, Bobby Shantz, who played on the team from 1957 to 1960, including the 1958 championship team, he turns 100 on Friday the 26th. I believe he's the oldest living member in 8 different baseball organizations, including the old Washington Senator expansion team. He won the Most Valuable Player award in 1952. He's still very coherent. He's one of the nicest guys ever. He was my favorite player as a kid. I'm a 73-year-old man now, and I saw the Yankees as a kid in the late 50s. And I was one of the few people, 23,000 of us in the stands, 1961, that saw Roger Maris hit his 61st home run. 1-0 game. Anyway, go Yanks, and hope you can use this. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the call. You sound great for a 73-year-old. Now, Bobby Shantz, 1952, 24-7 record, 2.48 ERA in 33 games started for the Philadelphia A's. He did play for the Yankees in 57 through 1960. Hell of a career, and congrats on 100 years old, hopefully. 2 days left. A lot of things coming down to the wire here. And I feel like, a lot of these older guys, they don't get their due for the kind of numbers they put up. 24-7 with a 2.48 ERA. And I'd never heard of him. Unbelievable. That is a crazy, crazy good year. All right. We got Bobby the Bear.
Derek, Bobby the Bear. I'm no longer in Atlanta. I'm on vacation in the Bronx. The ambulance is sounding right outside my window. That's kind of funny.
Oh, hilarious. Hilarious.
Anyway, I was at the game tonight. What a thrilling game. That game was incredible, dude.
Appreciate the call, Bobby the Bear. Louis Penafiel says, my man, we can do this. We're going to take the division. Go Yanks. 2 tequila shots on me. Well, I don't drink, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Richard C. says, Judge, going to go 2009 A-Rod this postseason. Oh, man, I would sign up for that. Oh, God, that would just make my my world. Cruise Control says, Guardians in first place. Did they win? Let me just get the scores here. Let's go through the scores real quick. A lot of stuff going on around the league. So Cubs beating the Mets. And yes, the Guardians beat the Tigers 5-1. Tanner Bybee with the win. Rays beat the Orioles. Red Sox over the Jays again. Phillies beat the Marlins. Brewers pick up win number 96. They got a chance to win 100. And then Nationals beat the Braves. Braves have really never backed up that huge year that we all thought they were going to have. I mean, after Acuna got injured a couple years ago, he never recovered, even though he's back. Rangers up on the Twins, and Pirates over the Reds 4-3 in the 11th. Skeens pitched in that game. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get to Omaha Steaks real quick, then I'll be back to wrap it up.
Kratz, let's talk about Omaha Steaks, and it's not just steaks. It's chicken wings. It's smash burgers. Big deli-style franks. There are a number of categories that you can hit all in one place. They've been doing it for a long time. They're the best in the biz. And if you got a good filet, life's good, man.
But you got to finish every meal with some delectable desserts, too. They have those, too, to go along with these delicious steaks.
Apple caramel tarts on the list, among many other menu items to check out. Be the hero that orders Omaha Steaks and is the most popular person in your household. So get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event, and for an extra $35 off. Yeah, $35 off on top of that. Use promo code FOUL at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. See site for details.
Okay, so one quick correction. Clay points out that I can't math. Brews do have 63 losses, so the most wins they can have is 99. So appreciate that one, my man.
I've been so wrong in my whole life.
And Richard C. says, assuming no Milwaukee, home field advantage through the playoffs, including the World Series, still in play. I mean, it could happen if the Yankees get hot. Let's keep winning. Just keep winning. That's what we've been saying. We got some steak talk here. T-bone, Wagyu. I'm more of a New York strip guy, but I like a little ribeye. I like the bone-in ribeye. Man, I could use a steak right now. I know it's 10 o'clock at night, and I probably shouldn't have a steak, but, man, we got some frozen steaks in the fridge. I'm thinking about it. I really am. But nothing to celebrate yet. Yankees still got to win the East by a game. Still 4 games left. Anything could happen, right? So, like we said before, just keep winning. Just keep doing your thing. One more time.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
Edwin Cortez says, do you prefer the Tigers or the Astros in the playoffs? That's a great question. Honestly, I hadn't really thought about it that much. Like, I usually try not to stress too much about who they're going to play because, like, anybody can beat anybody in the playoffs, right? I mean, all you really need, especially in a short series, especially if it's a 3-game series, is one guy to get hot. Like, one guy has a really good series, and it could be, the number 8 hitter, and it can, sink your whole season, right? And I really hated the single-game elimination because, I mean, the fluke could end your season. But, facing Skubal in the playoffs doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel good. But the Astros, I mean, they've been our daddy for a long time. Let's be honest about that. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Houston because I think it would be more fun to beat Houston, right? And I think the Yankees would beat Houston. Whereas, you face Skubal and the Tigers, who knows? Who knows? And the Tigers might have to use Skubal on the final day of the season, right? That's what Kay was saying. But, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow. See you next time. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.